10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff.
Got it. The music plays, the microphones go hot, and we are live from Studio One at the Full Range Entertainment Control Center. Fast Eddie Layne, set and ready to take us beyond ringside all over again. Special tip of the hat to tag team partner, the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis this evening. Making a cameo appearance tonight. Glad to have him back on board, and be sure to catch him Wednesday nights on the To Be Determined show. Like to welcome in, good friend of the family, from NWA Smoky Mountain, Tony Givens. How you doing tonight, Tony?
I'm doing fine. How are you guys doing?
It has been a great day, and hoping to have a great night. Now, first off, everything going absolutely crazy with NWA Smoky Mountain. I know y'all just wrapped up with a really big show, but before we move into that, for those who haven't had a chance to really find out about the inner workings of Tony Givens himself, and I know it's been a while, give everybody about a little bit of your background.
Well, I started wrestling at the age of 17. Started promoting at the age of 19, and now I'm 31 years old, still promoting, and starting kind of to wrap up the wrestling, the actual in-ring wrestling thing. But that's pretty much, the beginning of it. I also have a Facebook page called "You're Not Getting Booked." It has about 9,000 likes and is continuing to grow. And I'm almost to the point that I'm equally as well known for that as I am NWA Smoky Mountain.
Now, that's one of the things I wanted to bring up. And let me go ahead and bring that one up right now. The page itself, some of the statements that have been made, some of the pictures that have been put up there, and some of the videos, it's like some people just don't quite get it. And one of the things that consensus agreement between Beyond Ringside, the To Be Determined show, and I do believe on You're Not Getting Booked, it's like if you want to be considered a professional wrestler, you have to look like a professional wrestler. Correct?
Exactly, yes.
And that includes the factor of a professional appearance. And
yes, that's a must. There's a lot of people that evolve, and they'll always use the example. What about John Cena? Well, I don't think John Cena trained it when he started training was wearing jean shorts, or
right.
Or any of these guys that are on WWE or TNA, not wearing professional gear. I guarantee when they started their careers, they had gear. I mean, it's one thing to evolve into this character when you're making when you've got a big money contract, but when you're out there on the indies and you just you have a show and there's 10 guys in jeans and there's 5 guys in tennis shoes, and it just looks sleazy.
And another one that a lot of people seem to want to try to compare to is the factor of the way Stone Cold always seemed to walk around during the shows. Either the cut-off jeans or the blue jeans and the boots and and the vest and either a T-shirt, no T-shirt. But when it came time to get in the ring, unless he was in a street fight, he was in trunks and boots, right?
Exactly.
Now, another one of the things that we've always talked about here, and this is something that we have preached, and when we're asked, respectively, the different cast members of BR, we tell people when they ask us about getting into pro wrestling, you take a look around and you find a school that the people there know what the hell they're doing. You look for substance, not for flash. You look for depth. You don't look for style. You look for people that are going to be down to earth with their heads on straight, that are going to actually train you in how to take care of yourself and the person you're working inside the ring. Now, the thing that I've always in particular been curious about is when you point people in the direction of a training school or tell them to start looking for a qualified trainer, what's the first thing that you tell them to look for in a trainer?
I tell them to look for somebody who's made money, because if somebody who has not made money cannot teach somebody else how to make money. If you are looking for a trainer, I mean, it's one thing if you have a veteran who did some WWF shots back in the day or some WCW shots, and he has trained some quality people, then that's one thing. So basically, if you were not being trained by somebody who has made a name for themselves or trained people that have made a name for themselves, Because there are some people in this business that are talented trainers, and maybe they're not make a whole bunch of money themselves, but they know how to make money and they can teach that. If there's not any kind of pedigree at that particular training camp or school, then you need to kind of steer away from it.
Now, do you find that people in this day and age who are looking to get in pro wrestling don't look at the overall picture as far as working your way up through the ranks? They think, hey, I'm going to get in, I'm going to get trained, work a couple of matches, and get signed into developmental and make it on television in 6 months to a year. Do they think that do they want to try to take that? Do they think they're automatically going to be good enough to be fast tracked, or what?
We don't understand the concept is that you have to put yourself in the right place. A lot of people think that this is my dream, I'm going to do this, but they work in the same town every single month, once a month, and that's, and that they think that somehow magically a WWE scout is going to appear in this town that draws 20 people every month and see them and then take them off to developmental. And I don't know why in the world anybody would think that. If you want to make it in the Indies, you've got to get to a promotion that has either a mainstream following to the point where WWE is for sure looking at it, or your best bet is seriously, honest to God, your best bet is, and if I was late teens, early 20s, and I wanted to be into wrestling, and there's nowhere else in the world I wouldn't go besides, training in OVW or in Florida. I mean, there's just, you already have that fast track. If your goal is WWE, you should be training there. Okay. I mean, that's the best bet, because they're going to take those people a lot faster than they are just the guys from the Indies. Because if you're not working in Ring of Honor or Evolve or even Combat Zone, as far as the actual wrestlers there, not the garbage wrestling guys. If you're not wrestling in those places that have exposure, you're not going to make it.
Is there any excuse whatsoever in this day and age for somebody who wants to make a positive name for themselves to not have some of their matches on YouTube? People send me messages all the time, and they'll say, how do I get booked with you? Do you I say, do you have a video? And they'll always say, well, no, I don't have. If you don't have footage of yourself, how's anybody going to want to book you? How's anybody going to see what you can do? The days of being able to send a Polaroid picture or 8x10 into an office and get booked, those days are over. We live in a different society. When you can have your matches up publicly, there's no excuse not to. What it is? Okay, I'm asking for you to take the promoter's hat on for a second, or put it on for a second. When it comes to building characters, when it comes to bringing in the right people, what is it harder to market, a good face or a good heel?
It is hard to find a good baby face. The reason being, okay, here's the thing. If I walk up to a girl on the street, and I go up to her and say, you are a nasty hag, you're ugly, whatever, she is automatically going to hate me. Right?
Right.
I can walk up to her and make her hate me. But how many people, anybody can do that. How many people can walk up to somebody and make them love them? Now, as far as what I'm looking for as heels go, I'm not just looking for something that anybody can do. I'm looking for somebody who possesses the ability to psychologically get in the fans' head and do little things that they can get a reaction from. And those are mostly veterans. But if you're looking for a baby face, you have to have the right guy with the right look and the right abilities. It's just harder to come by.
Okay. And from that vantage point, I have to ask the question, same thing with managers. What do you look for, and how hard is it to genuinely find or teach someone to be a real or good manager, believable manager in this business?
Well, you know what? The thing is, I don't look for a whole lot of manager. I've got 2 managers on my roster, and that's all I feel that I need. So, but I could tell you the qualities of each one. One of my managers is named Dylan Sizemore. He's a young kid. He started out as a ring announcer and a commentator. And I told him after the first time I heard my commentary, I said, your role in life needs to be as a manager for wrestling, because when I listen to your commentary, sometimes I hate you. So, and he has developed into a great manager. But mainly what I look for is if you can cut a promo. If you can't cut a promo, you probably shouldn't be a manager, because the whole purpose of having a manager is one of two things. A, to be an accessory to get heat, and B, be able to talk for the men that you manage. Some people may look fantastic. They may be 6'5" and gigantic and jacked up, but if the guy can't talk, then there's an issue. So you put him with a good manager. Also, there's some people that need the assistants out there that just have that little thing, to help them get heat, just put them over the top. And that's why I look for managers. I look for people who possess that special quality that I know they can actually get heat and they can talk on a microphone.
Are people now more afraid than anything else to actually use a microphone?
I've never met anybody. I'll tell you what. I think there is a point on shows where you could have people that have too much talking time.
Right.
Where you go to a show and every match has a pre-match promo, and or on indie shows when guys have the 20-minute promos after the first or second match, like it's Raw or something. And I see that on a lot of different shows. But that's, there's a difference. WWE has a, $100,000 sound system.
Yes.
And people can hear it, and they're a television product. If you set up your indie show like a WWE TV show, then you just don't get it.
Because because if you're trying to set it up to look like a television show, people aren't going to take it seriously as a wrestling product, because Vince McMahon, I always remember back the conversation, which is legendary as far as the sport and the business of pro wrestling goes, when the day that Ted Turner called Vince McMahon and said, I own a wrestling company. Vince says, I own a sports entertainment corporation. It's like, yeah, there's a big difference there. Always has been, always will be. Now, the reason, go ahead.
Well, here's the reason they do that. Okay, the point of a promo is to draw money, so or to draw interest in something. So they do that promo at the beginning of the show to build to what's going on later. If you are an independent promoter and you have already sold those people tickets, there's no camera, there is no viewers out there. Those people they don't need to be hyped anymore for your main event than they've already got, because you've already sold them the ticket. People don't understand things like that, like doing a whole bunch of angles on indie shows and expecting that this is going to draw more people next time. Where are you getting these more people from? Because the only people that see these angles that you do are the people that you've already sold tickets to.
Right.
Maybe they'll go tell their friends, hey, I saw this, whatever, but it doesn't have the same kind of impact as actually seeing the angle. Now, people can shoot an angle and run it and put it on YouTube and maybe hope to draw somebody else. But the problem with that is you have to be able to seek it out, because they're either going to have to push it on their Facebook page and hope to get shared and all this different stuff, as opposed to a television show or something where you can flip through the channels. Let's always say, I have a television show here on Saturday mornings at noon.
Right.
And people always ask me, why don't you just keep the show on YouTube? Well, the thing is, people can't flip through the channels on YouTube.
Very true.
And I'm trying to catch new viewers. That's another thing people don't understand. The advertising is not for your existing fans. Advertising is to draw new fans. That's why if you put a fat guy on a poster, he may be the most over guy you have, this out of shape fat guy, whatever. He may be your most over guy. And when you put him on a poster and you hang it up, say you hang it up outside a grocery store. You know what? Maybe in the time that you have the poster up, a couple of your fans will see that poster and think, oh, that's good. We're going to draw I want to see whatever his name is, the big fat guy. I want to see big fat guy wrestle whoever. It's on the poster. It's great. We'll go see it. That's cool. Maybe that's 0.5%. But the other 99.5% of the people who are going to see that poster don't know who big fat guy is. They're going to see big fat guy, and they're going to laugh, and they're never going to come.
Now,
advertising is to draw new fans,
right?
Not existing ones. Your existing fans should be drawn by the talent and the level of quality of the show.
Agreed, 100% on that one. Now, I know a lot of promotions because I'm in the time that I've been doing this show and watching the evolution of the internet and social media. Fortunately, and I say fortunately to lead this part off, and I think I'm tipping my hand on this, but I'm going to do it anyway. You have some promotions that maintain a .com. Like in your case, it's NWA Smoky Mountain.com. And you have some that keep a .com and Facebook and MySpace and Twitter. Noting how fickle people are when it comes to social networking. Because remember how quickly everybody left MySpace. And now that MySpace has changed hands, even though the content has changed, people are going back to MySpace. And some are leaving Facebook. Some are leaving Twitter. Would you ever recommend to anybody to abandon a .com?
No. And you know what? The thing, on top of, here's the thing. I've taught myself how to do pretty much everything I know how to do. So if I want to see how to make things better, I will look at it, and maybe outside of wrestling, but I will study things. And one of the things that I study extensively is social media marketing. It is ridiculous not to have a website. If you want to look at information on UFC, you may spend all day on Facebook, but if you want to look up information on UFC, your first stop is going to be UFC.com.
Right.
Here's the way it was. Everything that I've ever read it reads. Your website is your hub of your online marketing.
Right.
Everything else is a satellite that basically it either draws. It is used to either draw people to your website, so they get there. And we post on Facebook generally during the week. We post 5 times a day. We have a strategy. We actually have a social media strategy. I keep a book at my house every day, and I set it up in the morning. Everything I have to do for that day. But everything is to lead you back to the website.
Right.
You can't, if you don't have, listen, here's the thing. If you don't have a Facebook and a Twitter and all this stuff, you're an idiot. But if you don't have a website, you're also an idiot. I mean, because it's a hand-in-hand kind of thing. I don't think you could get away with not having a website and be a successful promotion. If you study the independent promotions that are successful, they do it exactly as I say. If you go to Ring of Honor's Facebook, they'll post a bunch of times a day, but they don't post full articles. They post the picture and
right.
image, and in the image they will put a link to back to the website article.
Right.
I mean, like I said, the website is the hub. Everything else is a satellite.
That's the way it should be. That's something I've been saying for a while. And to find out that some places are abandoning their .coms in favor of social networking is just like, in my book, it's crazy. Now you have to. Yeah.
Why don't you do both? I mean, 'cause that's the thing. My thing is my thing as a promoter is I believe I have one philosophy. My philosophy is whatever it takes.
Right.
Any way that you can find to draw people in to sell them a ticket, you should have. If it is, I just got an Instagram just to post just explicitly for the purpose of posting pictures from the promotion.
Right.
I don't have one personally or anything. But the thing is, anything that you can do, if you can, I don't care if it's Google Plus and there's 5 people on it. Anything you can do to sell anybody a ticket or to gain any kind of interest, you must do.
Exactly.
Your job. That's like it's like, should you go the extra? So you're getting ready to go home. You already hung posters all over town. You've got one more stop and it's 3 miles out. Should you go get it? Yeah, you should go get it because one person could see that poster and say, you know what? I'm coming and I'm bringing my five members of my family. Anything you can do, the same thing online. Anything that you can do within your budget, you should do. That's what being a promoter is about, is making people understand that is letting everybody know, hey, I have this show. I need you to come see it. I have this DVD. I need you to buy it.
Now, on a personal note, I'm going to do a complete topic shift here. On a personal note, what drew you to pro wrestling to begin with?
Here's the thing. I don't know. My parents, my mom was a fan of Mid-Atlantic wrestling. And I probably watched it the first day I was out of the hospital that it was on. I can't tell you that I don't know what drew me to it. I don't know why I like it. I don't know, anything. I can't tell you. I can't give you an explanation because I literally been a fan of pro wrestling my entire life, so long that I don't even remember my first match I've ever saw or anything. Just I'm a lifelong fan.
Now, the loaded question is, what was your motivation for getting into it? Because a lot of people have that different thing. They wanted to be the star on television. They wanted to be considered they want to consider themselves a god as far as entertainment goes. They want to be, they enjoyed what they were watching on television. They think they can do it, and they feel that they can be the best ever. For you, what was your motivation?
Here's the weird story. I actually originally wanted to be a manager, and I was convinced by a man named Brian Wayne, who's a local wrestler here, or was. He convinced me that if I was going to be a manager, I needed to learn how to train. Well, when I started training, I got the feel for it, and I was kind of ahead of the class of it that was there. So I just said, you know what, let's just go with the flow, and I'll just wrestle. So, and I do love wrestling. Like I said, I am probably getting ready to wrap up the wrestling portion of my wrestling career because of injuries and different things like that over a course of time. But I will always be in the business. It's something. I will always be promoting wrestling.
Now,
until there's no more wrestling to promote anywhere in the world, I will promote wrestling.
And we'll have just as much fun telling people why the hell they're not getting booked, right?
Exactly. And, yeah, and I'll always do that too. So.
Now, here's a funny question. Do you ever really get people, I mean, I know you do, but what is the funniest response that you have gotten to somebody who just doesn't get it?
One time, I had an email from this guy, and he emailed myself, Bill Barron's, Combat Zone, Ring of Honor. He copied everybody in so I could see who all he was emailing. I mean, this guy was shooting for the moon. He emailed every independent promoter that had any kind of clout or any kind of a name or anything. He sent this email to. He was a referee. He was starting out. He was 18 years old, and he would do anything. He would whatever. And then at the end of the email, he said, hey, I'll just need $300. So this referee here is, looking for his break, is trying to get $300 to referee. And Bill sent him a message back, and it said, fantastic, good luck. I don't know. The guy didn't come back, and I sent him a message. I can't. I'm not paying $300 to ref. And then he come back with like, well, I'll do it for gas money. It just dropped so much.
Wow. Yeah, it's like when I am inquired upon as to how much I charge somewhere to come and do announcing work. I take everything into consideration when I get ready, but by the same token, I have a set price and I don't drop below it. But that's just me. And I'm sure you're the exact same way. When somebody inquires, it's like, how much would it take to get Tony Gibbons to come wrestle in Arkansas? And you take everything into consideration. It's like, yeah, this is what it's going to take to get me out there.
Exactly. I mean, here's the thing. It's like in the days when I was out wrestling, I wouldn't exactly try to break people, but at the same time, I have to make more. I have to at least make some gas and trans and hotel, if possible. I have to be able to make it there and make it back, or
Yeah.
even if I'm just trying to get my name out there for myself. But there comes a point where you need a little bit more than just money to make a name for yourself. After you've made that name for yourself to a degree.
Now, speaking of making a name, NWA Smoky Mountain, in the time that it's been around, has definitely made a solid name for itself. Now, where are all you running shows right now with Smoky Mountain?
Well, you know what? We're still in just in East Tennessee right now. We have shows in Rogersville, Tennessee, Elizabethton, Kingsport. We have a show in Bluntville. These are all towns in the same market. And I'm looking to expand our TV market. And see, I don't want to go anywhere unless we have a TV in that market.
Right.
We're going to expand towards Knoxville, which is a little further west. Maybe into Asheville, North Carolina, and eastern Kentucky, and areas like that. More of a 5-state area. But that's all the things. But the thing is, I don't want to leave this area until that we are just selling out everywhere, and we have pretty much been doing that. But I want to make sure that before we leave, and expand, that the home base is completely solid.
Understandable concept. And for those who haven't had a chance to find out, give us some of the notable names that come through Smoky Mountain.
This year we have had Davey Richards, Kyle O'Reilly, Rob Conway. At the end of the last year, we had Steve Carino. Adam Pierce has been here this year. That's a lot, mainly. See, here's the thing: we're not looking for. I have a lot of names contact me actually and say, hey, I want to come in, and they'll even say, Chief of Price, oh yeah, we also have Billy Gunn. We had Billy Gunn the week after he was on Raw, and they did that match and looked so good at their, I don't remember, it's one of their 80s recap shows or nostalgia shows or something.
The old school show.
But he was actually there. He was with us the week after, and it was the last independent booking he took before he went up as a trainer. And I actually wrestled him in a tag team match. I took the Faymaster. So there's that. And I've been crotch chopped by a member of DX. So that's always that's on the bucket list. That's off the bucket list now. But yeah, I have a lot of names and stuff that will contact me and say, I want to come in. And here's the thing: unless they can actually still physically work, I don't want them. Because I need people to know what NWA Smoky Mountain is about. We don't want a whole bunch of guys that are past their prime and just there for a payoff. Well, Ricky Morton, who's one of my mentors, comes in. He's a regular on our roster. He comes in and works hard. He is a legend. He doesn't have to.
Right.
He comes in here and works hard because he understands what we're trying to do. We're trying to establish a reputation as the best one of the best wrestling promotions in the country.
Right.
And that's what we do. I don't want to be oh, ladies and gentlemen, here we have King Kong Bundy coming out. It's King Kong Bundy. And I don't know anybody who's booked King Kong Bundy down here, so I'm not, slamming anybody. And if that is your business plan, to get legends and to draw those big houses and they come in and not work that hard, more power to you. It's just not my business plan. There's nothing wrong with it if that's what you do.
Right.
That's not what we do. We want to have solid wrestling cards.
Well, see, you've got a number of names on your roster with NWA Smoky Mountain that have made it all the way across. Now, granted, the media machine is entirely different these days, especially with social networking with Facebook, MySpace, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+, all of the above. But, I mean, when you've got names like Sigmund who have made solid names for themselves all the way across the board, when you hear the names in the highlights and the reviews on a regular basis, of course, right now you're also the home of the new NWA World Junior Heavyweight Champion who's going to be joining us in about 25 minutes. Jason Kincaid, the Gift. Another person I'm very familiar with from the roster is, the King of Carter County, Cody Isis. I've heard and seen a number of things he's done. The Real Deal, Chase Owens, making national headlines with the National Wrestling Alliance on more than one occasion. I mean, not to mention the Cold, Alex Winters. And that's one thing that I've noticed. It's like coming through Smoky Mountain and I'm staying on the roster using Smoky Mountain for their home base. You've got a lot of people who are working to make national headlines in the best way possible. And I tip my hat in that regard, because it's one thing to run a promotion and have guys who are content to work where they're working. It's like, look, I'm 30 miles from my home. I've got my family coming out to see me. I'm good. It's like, no. You've got people that are making appearances all across the country. You've got people who are appearing all the way around the Southeast, and they call Smoky Mountain home, and that's a cool thing to me.
That's the kind of thing that I push the guys. The guys that I use are professional wrestlers. They're not just guys that are playing the part. These are guys that are in good shape. They take care of themselves. They take care of their abilities. Guys that can actually, wrestle anywhere they want, anywhere in the country, and guys will be happy to have them. But I kind of promote that. The thing is, I don't want to control these guys. I don't want my thumb on them. I don't want to say, Chase Owens, you can only wrestle here. I want him to go out and make money for himself. If he can use exposure, if he can use the exposure that I give him to do that, then I'd be happy. If he got signed tomorrow, and he has done probably 20 extra spots with WWE, worked 2 dark matches against Alex Riley, wrestled Ryback on TV. He's worked for Ring of Honor in the past. He's worked for TNA, doing a dark match. He's worked for Chikara. If he was to get signed tomorrow, I'd be the happiest person in the world. Even though I hate to lose him, I hate to lose having him. But I'm proud of these guys, and that's the one thing that I believe separates me from a lot of promoters. I really, honestly care about these guys and their careers.
Now, in addition to some of the names that I've mentioned that I've heard of and seen work, seen some of their work and part of the body of work, who are some of the stars that really just stand out with Mountain State right now? With Smoky Mountain. I'm sorry.
Mountain State is in West Virginia.
Yeah, I know. I was actually reading. I
actually believe they don't. I don't think they're with the NWA anymore. So
we'll see. But, here, I'll explain my goof real quick because I was looking at Chase's profile and it said Mountain Empire, and my brain went Mountain State, and I was trying to say Smoky Mountain, Mountain Empire, Mountain State, and it's like 6 degrees of separation is just screwed up in my head, and I apologize, Tony.
You're fine. Some of the guys we have were Chris Richards, who's 6'7", 315 pounds. He actually wrestled Rob Conway for the World Heavyweight title a couple of weeks ago, and Rob posted pictures of the match and actually said this is one of the toughest guys in the business. So he's a guy that deserves to be looked at. Jeff Conley is a guy that I trained. You know, he started with me, and training's not a fair thing to say, because what people don't understand is you may be trained by one guy, but you learn from a whole bunch. And he's a guy that literally learned from everybody on the Smoky Mountain roster. He is a technical wrestling wizard. I mean, just can do anything as far as a hold wise. We have a newcomer named Shinron who also works for he worked for Chikara on the show before they closed down. And he actually currently works for Wrestling Is Fun, but he also works for NWA Smoky Mountain. He is unbelievable. Have you ever seen the guy that called Charade that broke his neck and was on Tosh.0 doing the moonsault?
No, I missed that one.
Yeah, well, this guy may or may not be him. He wears a mask. So, but he is a fantastic high flyer. He actually does a 630 off the middle rope as his finisher. And he is going to be making a name for himself for sure. He actually won one of our open tryouts and came in. Another guy that won one of our open tryouts is Will Huckabee. He's from North Carolina, near the beach. Actually drove 8 hours to do the tryout just for a chance, and walked away with it. He dominated this tryout and clearly won. And he's a main event roster. A guy who travels in named Joe Black is a fantastic junior weight wrestler. We just have a whole host of top talented guys, man. That's the thing. I don't want a card of guys that just suck. I don't want a match that sucks. I know some people will have they may have a top of the card that's fantastic. I want the whole show to be good. Right. People are paying. Here's the thing I don't understand, and this is the promoters. I want you to understand this. People are paying you money for wrestling. They are paying you money. When somebody pays you money, if I go to McDonald's and I ask for a double cheeseburger, I want that order correct, and I want that double cheeseburger to taste good because I'm paying money for it. People pay money for you. You have an obligation when somebody buys a ticket from you to give them quality.
Exactly. Now, if I may, Smoky Mountain's got a show coming up on September the 7th, and you're going to be making a return to Rogersville, Tennessee, right?
That's right, Rogersville. We have not been back to Rogersville since the event with Billy Gunn. It completely sold out. Rogersville, in the main event on that show was Josh Crawford, the Mountain Empire champion, who was a mainstay in Rogersville, and Vince Brent, who I should have mentioned earlier, is one of our, he actually is the most popular star in NWA Smoky Mountain. As far as, the girls love him and everything, along with the tag team champions. They're also going to be there. Air America, those guys also great talents. The fans love them. They're going to be there defend their tag team titles. It should be a great event. And then the next week, in September 14th, we'll come back to the Civic Auditorium. That's our home base, and we have Chase Owens against Cedric Alexander from Ring of Honor, and that should be a fantastic match as well.
It really should. Now, question for let's go and take the September 7th event. Bell time is going to be 8:00 p.m. local time, and from that vantage point, what time do doors normally open?
7 o'clock. Doors will be open at 7 o'clock there.
Okay. How much are the tickets?
Tickets for that event, I believe, front row is $10 maybe, and general admission's $8. I'm not real clear, but I'm pretty sure that's what the ticket prices are there.
Okay. Any idea on the Kingsport show?
The Kingsport show, the ticket prices are $15 front row, $10 general admission. You can order online and get them $3 cheaper, and the link is on our website, NWASmokyMountain.com.
Okay. Now, I fritzed out for a hot second because I started to lose the call. Can people buy tickets online, or do they just get them right there at the show, and can they get them in advance? They
can get them in advance online on our website, as well as we have a ticket outlet locally, but I don't think I'm sure if anybody is listening to this from my area, they probably know where to buy tickets already. But you can buy them online at NWASmokyMountain.com.
Now, I'm coming back over for one short second. I'm going to ask the question about one of our first topics. What is the number one? Actually, give me the top 2 reasons why people don't get booked.
No gear is number one. And this is something that it boils down to. If you don't send me a video, and I can't see your work, I'm not going to book you. I mean, you don't have a shot. And there's not a chance in hell because you haven't given yourself a shot. I have to be able to see what you can do, or I'm not going to book you at all. And if I see if you send me a picture or something, you're wearing blue jeans or it's not like it's a big decision to me to book somebody. I mean, it's not like even if I go look at that video, I'm gonna search Facebook and YouTube and everything else. I'm gonna find out all the information I can about you before I book you.
Right.
Because I mean, it's pretty much like a job interview. When you send me something, you need to send me a resume. You can't just I got a one line email. You know what? Last night it wasn't even a 1-line email. The subject of the email was, "Are you looking?" And this is "Are you," as in the letters R and U. Are you looking for a wrestler or writer? And that was the subject. And then the body of the message was, "I work cheap." And then his name, Texas Pete. I had never heard of this guy. I don't know who he is. I know nothing about it. I know nothing about his credentials, his quote-unquote writing ability, or his wrestling ability, or what he looks like, or anything. Or any kind of, I mean, the only thing I could have done is responded to the guy, and that didn't warrant a response to me.
Lord, I hate to wrap it up on that note, but Tony, I've got to. First off, thank you for coming back on board. It is great to have you on. It has been way too long. I want to remind you, the door's always open. Anytime you've got an event, man, keep us posted, keep us in the loop. Love to have you come back on sometime.
Hey, no problem. It's been fun. I like to be on here, and thank everybody for listening.
Now, real quick, are you on the You're Not Getting Booked? Are you keeping that primarily Twitter-based, Facebook-based, or are you looking to expand that into a different area?
I've been looking to expand it for a long time, and the thing is, I just don't have time. That's the problem. I want to have a You'reNotGettingBooked.com,
Yeah.
And I just, it's something that here's the thing, I don't profit anything off of it. So it's like, if any time that I spend too much time on, I'm taking away from my wrestling business, which I do profit off of.
Exactly.
So I don't have the time. If I could find a way to monetize it, then I would definitely have a website.
Be careful. Anything can happen in this day and age. Tony, how can people find you directly as far as social media goes?
You can find me on, just look on the NWA Smoky Mountain page. I don't feel like talking to anybody. Of course, you're fine. But you look up NWASmokyMountain.com. You can find You're Not Getting Booked is Facebook.com/You Are Not Getting Booked. It's completely spelled out because I did not want to put a contraction in
for people to get
subject title.
For
That's
people,
why you are not getting booked instead of your, because I didn't want to put the contraction.
right. Thank you again, dude. It's always great to talk to you. Ladies and gentlemen, our very special guest at this time, Tony Givens, has just gone Beyond Ringside. Stay with us through the break. We'll be back on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network right after this.